Hello, everyone. Finally, I know, a new Koopa-Cast. It's been so long. Can I tell you a secret? I've recorded at least 3 or 4 of these and just not posted it anywhere because my thoughts are wild, my opinions are strong, and the facts are unbelievable, and I just don't want to get in trouble. But anyway, here I am. We're gonna talk. This one is directed to my misinformed friends. I I was one of, I've said this so many times now, but I like to say it because it's a really big deal. I hated Donald Trump for so long, and because I was so misinformed, and so are you if you hate him, because you probably think that he's racist. Well, did you know that he was a huge pillar of the black community in the 80s and 90s? There are over 100 rap songs that mention his name. He was a huge part of black culture, especially in New York. And what else? See, here we go. Typical Amanda style. I was like going, and now I lost my train of thought. Something stuck in my teeth. Anyway, okay, so he's also, his club, the Mar-a-Lago Hotel Club in Florida, was one of the first like fancy clubs to allow black people. Okay, nobody started calling him a racist until he started running for president. That is 100% true. He was super part of the black community, and he still is. You just don't hear about it. You don't know about it. He had a huge black Blexit rally right in front of the White House and addressed them. There are tons of communities of blacks for Trump, Latinos for Trump, Latinas for Trump, Venezuelans for Trump, because guess what? Venezuelans. I have learned so much about Venezuela, and it's so scary to think that a country like Venezuela, Venezuela was like Canada in a sense, freedom and working and social everything, and now you have to get stamps from the government to get food. You're limited on everything. It's completely become a socialist country, and Venezuelans who have escaped to America do not want socialism or communism or any of that bullshit. This is a democracy, right? And people think that Trump is destroying democracy, but it's only because they're not being shown the people that truly support him, the diverse groups that support him. Gays for Trump, LGBT Trump, like these groups exist, okay? And I want to read. So, a while ago, I still actually, I'm always getting in arguments with my gay friends about Donald Trump, and they keep just saying that he's terrible, and it's like, can you please just like open your eyes and just. So I sent some people this great article that debunks most of the myths. I will link below on this video. All of the myths about Trump and LGBTQ and gays and all that stuff. Okay, I'm just going to read this. Ready? I came across the Gay Republican, one word, just like it sounds, the Gay Republican on Instagram. Super sweet guy. I messaged him and said, hey, can I ask you something? This is presumptive as I just found your IG page, so forgive me, but I'm hoping you'll have some insight as to how I can help my gay friends realize that Trump is okay. Because I had read all of these things about how Trump has been supporting gay people longer than anyone in politics. And it's true. I'm going to read to you what the Gay Republican so nicely typed out and sent to me, okay? So, Donald Trump has been supportive of gay rights before he was even active in politics. There was an article written on him in the 90s when the Defense of Marriage Act was being debated in the United States Senate at the time Hillary Clinton was a senator from New York. He wrote a lengthy article on how he supports the gay community and he supports gay people getting married to the people that they love. He spoke out against Hillary Clinton on her stance against gay marriage, the reason that Donald Trump and his administration, who I may add, was the first administration to have an openly gay cabinet member. Donald Trump did that. Donald Trump put together a task force to help combat the criminalization of homosexuality in other countries, because right now there are still 9 countries that put homosexuals to death, and Donald Trump is trying to stop that. I'm going to pause for a second and just remind you, you know how like everybody is like, okay, first of all, Russiagate was a hoax. It has been proven to be a hoax by the FBI and like all these investigations. It was literally made up by Hillary, Obama, and Joe, or something like that. You'd have to look it up. But Russiagate has widely been disproven, and news outlets have admitted to that finally. They're still lying about everything else, but they have admitted to that. And so, if you look at Donald Trump and how he was trying to make a relationship with Putin of Russia, right? Where, you know, you didn't really see other presidents try to do these things. They didn't try to meet with these super volatile countries. Whereas Trump, in his truthfulness and just off the cuffness, he has made peace with countries that other presidents have never been able to do. And now his relationship with Putin, I could never prove this. This is just my own little conspiracy theory. I wonder if, you know, he lobbies to Putin about like, hey, treat gays better in Russia. I don't know. Anyways, continuing with what the gay Republican had to say. Donald Trump is the only presidential candidate to ever stand up in front of 100 million people. Well, there's so many zeros. Starting over. Donald Trump is the only presidential candidate to ever stand up in front of 100 million people watching him and say that he will do everything in his power to protect the LGBTQ community for radical Islamic terror. Barack Obama and Joe Biden did not support marriage equality until the 2012 election because they knew at the time they needed as many votes as they could. Hillary Clinton changed her tune on same-sex marriage in 2016, but she was for traditional marriage all the way up until 2016. That's right. Your fucking hero, Hillary Clinton, was against gay marriage until she started running against Donald Trump. Wake up. Continuing from the gay Republican. I just like saying that. I'll get his name after this. Donald Trump has been pro-gay marriage his entire life, and it's documented. Didn't come to the issue of transgenders in the military. The basis behind transgender from the military was because the base is behind being transgender from the military was because an overwhelming number of transgenders were only signing up in the military to get the benefits so that they didn't have to pay for their transitions, and then were getting out of the military immediately after they had fully transitioned. So transgender people who wanted to transition were taking advantage of government programs to do their transitions. Transitions are incredibly expensive if you don't qualify them for them, and it is incredibly hard to qualify for, as it should be, because you should have to jump through every hoop ever to, if you are going to change your gender. Again, I'm fuzzy on transgender because I have watched so many documentaries and seen life stories about people who transition and then kill themselves. People who transition and realize they made a huge mistake. People who transition and just it wasn't what they thought it would be. So there's a higher percentage of those people than there are of people who are happy in their transition. And that is my only qualm with it, okay? If you want to defy your biology and you truly, truly believe in your heart, even after counseling and all of those things, that you are the opposite gender of what you were born as, then you know what? take your steps. I'm not here to stop you. I'm not here to stop anyone from doing anything they want to do unless it's kill someone or hurt a kid, okay? Continuing on from the gay Republican. Another another aspect of transgenders being in the military is the mental state that they are in while joining the military, when they're in the middle of a transition or they're still beginning to transition and they're full of hormones and feelings. And why would you give somebody a gun in a foxhole in war when you're going through a transition? The media can portray Trump and soak in Human Rights Campaign and all those other liberal organizations who have made millions of dollars off the back of gay Americans and really have not done anything except for lobby certain politicians. You should see with the presidents and CEOs of these companies you should see what the presidents and CEOs of these companies make a year off the backs of gay Americans using their issues. Gay conservatives represent free-thinking individuals who are not told what politicians do and do not support us. We make up our own minds. We vote not with our dicks and our vaginas, but with our brains. Yeah. And then he said, sorry, I was using talk to text if there are any mistakes. It was pretty mistakeless for the most part. I'm just bad at reading. Yeah, I felt bad for not knowing his name, but I still don't know his name. I went to his profile, and it just says, straight talk with the gay Republican, stomping the stereotype. He's so cool. Like, I follow him. He did a funny video about Hillary Clinton. He's pumped that ACB got confirmed, which I see so many people angry that she got confirmed, but it seems like the only people who are angry are the people who hate Trump. So if you hate Trump, then you have to, by definition, hate ACB. And it's just like this cult thinking. If you hate one person, you have to hate the other. I'm going to stop for a minute and thank my patrons on Patreon. That's Dan, Brent, Dylan, Will, and Anthony. Thank you. Thank you for being on my Patreon. I don't do much on there anymore. I have transitioned to OnlyFans. Most people who were following me on Patreon, who had my King Koopa tier, who had all the spicy stuff, I just gave them a free month to my OnlyFans a while back and said, like, come over to OnlyFans because OnlyFans is way easier to post stuff on. But I do have my Patreon still because I do still create all types of things, and I just appreciate the support because I am a, struggling woman. I've pretty much been deplatformed since I became political. I was getting deplatformed before for my freaking body, as all women are, but not all women, not famous women. Famous women can post whatever they want. But when I post a similar, almost exactly same picture, and I've tried it, I've copied a few posts just to play a little game, just to experiment, and my posts almost always get taken down. Well, if you are a blue check mark, you're good. You can post those nipples, girl. Not fair, man. So now we're dealing with the censorship and the deplatforming of fucking just trying to share the truth. And it's so frustrating because it's so clear that the internet has become so one-sided. Like, Twitter is basically an echo chamber for leftists, and Parler is no better because it's an echo chamber for conservatives. And I don't want to be in either echo chamber. I want everybody's opinion coming at me. I want it all. I don't want censorship in any form. I don't care. The only thing that I don't want on the internet is people getting murdered and kids getting hurt. You know what I mean? What else? What reason would you have to censor anything else? I really don't know. But I follow so many conservatives now, or Trump supporters, or just general people who are liberal like me, but conservative, people who support gay marriage and first term abortion, things like that. I don't know. Abortion's tough because I do believe that life begins at conception, but I also don't believe that you should have to give birth to like a baby if you were raped or incest or whatever. I totally am with you on that, but I also don't believe that you should be able to kill the baby after the first trimester, because yeah, maybe in the first trimester it's a clump of cells, but that clump of cells does have a heartbeat. But I don't think that it should dictate and run your life, because yeah, I think that in that case, you choose one life over another, your own life, I suppose, your own life and mental health over, yeah. So it's interesting because, ow, my foot's cramping and it hurts. Like, abortion in Canada is illegal after the first trimester, which it should be. Like, when I did not know this, but did you know that it's so sad and gross, but babies, like, so like if you're doing like an abortion for an 8-month pregnant, they take the baby out piece by piece. And you're gonna tell me that's okay? You're gonna tell me that a living thing with arms and legs and a head deserves to be taken apart piece by piece out of my body? That makes me so fucking sad and disgusted. I wish I never knew that, So gross. And we should be trying to not have abortions, not try to have more of them. Why does Planned Parenthood want their numbers to go up? Like, these are all big red flags, but you're too worried about, like, okay, like, for any woman, if you want to have that baby, right? Right? Like, once you've had sex, like who the last person you had sex with, whether you want that baby or not. So there should be absolutely no reason why you can't have an abortion in the first 3 months, right? Or take a fucking morning after pill. It's way cheaper and easier on your body. I just think it's disgusting to take apart a baby inside you and harvest the limbs, and it's just fucking, it's wrong. It's so wrong. I think I'm like tearing up because I know 2 pregnant women right now who are due very soon, and it's like, I can't imagine, I really can't imagine. And what woman carries a baby 8 months and then goes, nah? Like, and then there's the other argument. Oh, I didn't know I was pregnant till 7 months. Too fucking bad. Like, that was my situation. You know what I mean? I didn't find out I was pregnant until I was between 6 and 7 months pregnant. And now I have a beautiful daughter. I feel like if I had found out earlier, like when you normally do, I may have had an abortion. You know what I mean? Because I shouldn't say that because of I shouldn't say that. Definitely shouldn't say that because I love my daughter with all my freaking heart, like so much. But imagine if she didn't exist. Imagine if I just erased her. Even that's sad to think about, It's disgusting. It's have better birth control, be safer. And, there should be no reason to have an abortion unless you have a big oops or like something terrible happens to you, right? Speaking of terrible things, let's talk really quick. Okay, now that my foot is uncramped, I can recross my legs. I'm just like in my jammies in my bed. This is what I do. There's no script, there's no set, there's just me. I don't even have my microphone because I can't find the cord that hooks to my phone. So I'm sorry about the sound quality. It will be next time, I promise. But yeah, speaking of traumatic things, so like COVID-19, let's talk about it real quick. COVID. Yeah, I don't know where to begin. it's a cold, it's a flu. Why are we treating it like a deadly disease? The average age of the people dying in Alberta is 84. I do not think that old people should have to die, but dying is part of being old. And lots of older people, grandparents die from the flu. My grandparents died in their early 60s, you know, just life, cancer, and fucking endless, you know, probably obesity and, my, whatever. My grandparents died in their early 60s. Like, and my other grandma, who's still alive, doesn't know who I am. And I don't want her to die, but it's just like, there's a cycle of life. And at what point do you just, like, we've been dealing with the flu and the colds our whole lives, my whole life. And, you know, our grandparents die when they get sick. That's like life. And so to act like this flu that some 74-year-old fat president could beat, you know, like, granted, people have the argument that he had access to all these different medicines, but there's a producer on Joe Rogan's podcast. I'm actually just in the middle of watching Alex Jones and Tim Dillon on Joe Rogan, and it's highly recommend if you want some truth bombs. But a guy on Joe Rogan got COVID one day. He was better in one day. And like, I've said this a billion times, so many people I know believe that we all had COVID last year. November, December, January of last year, so many people were sick. People were coming back from Vegas, LA, Cuba, Mexico, Japan, Scotland, did I say Cuba, Jamaica? Yeah. Like, people were traveling. Canadians always travel. They go somewhere hot for the winter. And so we all believed that the virus was brought back. I was so sick. My friends were so sick. My uncle was so sick. Everybody was so sick. Just like this time kind of last year. So, and recently I had to do a fucking quarantine. I was sick for 3 days with like a flu cold, and it made sick for 3 days. I got tested on the 4th day, and I couldn't go back to work until the 9th day. 7th day. Yeah, I got sick on Friday. I got tested on Monday, and then I got my results Friday morning, negative. So, like, I was sick, and then I was sick for 3 days, but I had to miss 5 days of work because of it. Because frickin', and it's not anyone's fault, but like, everybody who's perpetuating that COVID's a real issue, like, it's the fucking flu, okay? I don't care. I'm done. I'm not wearing fucking mask. I don't fucking care. And I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, early on, so I had to wear a mask for certain aspects of my job. And so I would put it on, I would go do this thing, I would talk a bunch, and then by the end of me talking, I would be like out of breath and like, and really hot. And it was like, oh God, this mask is so fucking hard on me, right? And I assumed it was because I was talking a lot, right? So the next time I wore one into a grocery store, did my shopping. By the time I came out, I got into my car and started bawling, crying, like, weird, right? The next time I had to wear a mask to go for a doctor's appointment. And I'm sitting in the waiting room, and my eyes keep watering. I'm like, what's going on? Like, am I scared of my doctor's appointment, right? I go into the doctor's office, we do whatever, and I start bawling in the doctor's office in front of the nurse and the doctor. I'm literally hyperventilating, like, hand over my mask, fucking having a panic attack, okay? I leave the doctor's office, I take off my mask, I'm fine the rest of the day. The next time I wear one, I start to feel anxious again, and I start to feel panicky, and I don't know why. And then I remembered before before all of this, I had seen somebody make a meme that said, trauma survivors shouldn't have to wear masks. It's traumatic to them. And I thought, that's such a bullshit cop-out. I'm gonna wear it when I have to, whatever, big deal. But then all of that happened to me, and then I remembered that. And it was like, okay, I have been sexually assaulted many times in my life. And what is a very common thing to happen to you when you get sexually assaulted? And so, to me, I think that mask wearing for trauma survivors truly is psychologically fucking with you. And please, if you have anything similar to this, I would love to hear about it, because it honestly makes me feel crazy, especially because I'm a Vipassana meditator, and I should have, I'm a very amateur meditator, mind you, and I have a lot of control over my emotions and things like that, but I do not have control over the way I feel when I wear a fucking mask. And maybe it's because I read so much about, the global reset and the turning us all into slaves and blah, blah, blah. The masking is this cult thing. But it truly psychologically affects me. Now, the problem with that, okay, is how do I convey that when I walk into Walmart and they want me to wear a mask? You know what I mean? Many people are fortunate to be able to say, I have asthma, I have a breathing issue, I have a respiratory issue, I can't wear a mask, blah, blah, blah. Or for that guy in the United States, I don't have ears, I can't wear a mask. How do I say to someone in Walmart, oh, I was raped violently, so I can't wear a mask? How do I say that to anyone? How do I say that to... Help me out, okay? It's one of those things that, it's weird, but it's real, and I don't know how to, and for me, I've just been if somebody says wear a mask and I just go no, people tell me to wear masks in stores and I just say no and I walk away and they leave me alone. I'm fortunate that the people around me and in my city are very whatever. You know what I mean? Because we all get sick, we all get the cold, we all get the flu, we all get it every fucking year. And you know what? Maybe some people won't because they're better at hand washing and sanitizing your hands and stuff like that and not breathing on people. Keeping your distance. I love social distancing. Yes, stay 6 feet away from me, especially if I don't know you. I love social distancing, I do. But all of the rest of it it's just craziness. And yeah, anyway. So how do you live? Yeah. I'd love to hear other people's opinions on that, because again, when I first saw that as a thing, I was like, okay, let's get real. But then it became real on me and for me. And yeah. I just hyperventilate and I get anxious and I panic with something over my mouth, Which makes sense because I can't, even when I was doing cosplay and costuming, I would never wear anything over my mouth because I couldn't handle it. So it only makes sense. But anyways, it's been almost 30 minutes, so we're going to wrap it up. I meant for it to be 20, like usual, but here we go. I'm going to do this more frequently, too. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. I've been watching a lot of Tim Dillon, Tyler's Zeducation. Who else? I'm going to put those people all underneath this video, and just more pages. If you don't believe me, I'll give you some links under this video as well. Thank you for hanging out with me. This was fun as always. I love you. We're best friends and we're getting matching tattoos. You know this, or maybe you forgot because it's been so long, but Koopa-Cast is back and I love you. Ooh, you. Okay. See you next time.